Hey, everybody, this is the Healing Hour, and this is a fabulous show that my friend and colleague, Dr. Sharon Martin, does. I'm going to kick this over to her because I think today's show, and at the beginning of the hour, Benny, when we say the call in number is 1-800-930-2819. And then I'm hoping on Facebook, either Olivia or Zach or somebody can let folks know what we're about to say. This is a show to call in and get some spiritual relief, right?
And
So,
boy, do we
Sharon,
need it.
yeah,
We
tell
need
us
it.
about this and why this was important to you.
I think I'm a physician, so medically we've had our radar up in about January, but we weren't too worried. But all of a sudden it started rolling in the end of January, February, March, whammo, whammo. And this has taken a lot out of us. There is a current. It's a strong current, independent of the virus itself, a strong current of fear, anxiety, worry about your home, your safety. You can't even hug your loved ones. That's a crazy making time. That is really enough to make us all bonkers. So, but in all of this, I've seen places where people are really stepping up. So, what I'd really like to do today, if it's okay with all you guys listening, and I hope there's more of you listening because you're sheltered at home. So let me be your shelter. You remember that Bob Dylan song? Come in, she said, I'll give you shelter from the storm. Well, let us be your shelter today. Call us and tell us, how have you found something new and different, found a little uplift? Because Dr. Pat and I were just talking, we really need it. We need to hear the good in humanity because there's so much fear, so much disorganization, so much chaos. Pat, what do you think?
Well, I want to say something, and this is a shout out to our Canadian friends and our Canadian hosts and co hosts that are on the network. Megan Edge and I did a show yesterday. She's Canadian, she's in Canada, and we compared notes. So, what I want to say is, I understand that our Canadian friends across the border, you guys have got it going on. I understand what's happening over there is different than what's happening here in terms of relief and filling out forms and so what we're about to talk about may or may not affect you. On the other hand, you are still in the population of people that are sheltering in place, that are going through everything we're going through, that are making adjustments. But today, we know that we have got to create spiritual prayer and ritual and do some healing for all of you out there. Now, we are going to try to take as many calls as we can. And what that means is Doc Martin is going to do something special, and I'm going to do something special. We're each going to do a special blessing and healing for you. And it doesn't matter what's happening in the middle of this. It could be something as, wow, I called my bank 132 times and the mailbox is still full. We need to help you. That's
Mm,
true. That is my story. Just saying.
mm.
We need to do, we need to do some prayer and healing, not just for us, but I can only imagine what it's like for the Bank of America staff right now. I mean, I can only imagine. They were one of the first, by the way, they were one of the first banks starting last Saturday. I got a call that took on the PPP application. So I need to give them a shout out, even if all the messages are full. But today, we're talking about, and this is what was important to you, Sharon, it's coming together while distancing, so far yet so near. Tell us about this because you see this up front. You're on the front lines, but this is still a sense that's emotional, that's mental, and that's physical.
It is. It is really calling on us to step forward with our true humanity and to get past. I've seen the fear do crazy things to people. I'll just share an example. I have an older gentleman who called with a panic. He absolutely had to come to the office and be checked. Well, anybody in their right mind wouldn't go to a doctor's office because that's going to be a potential hub, just as you wouldn't go to the ER. But
Sorry.
he was petrified that he had something wrong with him, and he didn't. But his fear was enough to risk going. Now, we clean pretty well and we wear protective gear, so I don't think the risk was that big, but he still stepped out. So that's what fear can do to us. But then let me just share another story. We have a little coffee shop in the tiny rural town that my office is in, and somebody donated money for the staff to have a free latte or cappuccino. Somebody else they sent us in a coupon for going to get pizza from the local pizza place
Wow.
because we were healthcare workers and they wanted to acknowledge us. Now, do I think we're doing anything special? Well, I think perhaps we're being brave because everybody we see could have corona, but um, everyone is being brave. Everyone is doing their very best. Pat, what have you seen?
I'll tell you what I've seen. And I want to point out three different levels of what I'm observing. I'm observing what we're doing at an individual level, and I'm not talking about individual business people. That's the second level. I'm talking about individuals. What are people doing? Well, if you're me and you're like a super introvert, right? Which I am,
Hard to believe,
it
yeah,
is
mhm,
really hard to believe, but ask
uh-huh,
anybody that actually knows me, right? When I am done with whatever I do, you're gonna find me someplace quiet.
mhm,
I'm not like my friend Barb, who's like organizing an entire our group of friends, a 7 o'clock call. I think it's tonight or tomorrow night to get together. That's Barb. She's gonna be like, what can we do? What can we do to come together? So at that level, what I'm seeing people is step forward the best I can. The flip side of it is, Sharon, and this is not this show. I did 2 shows this week so far about this, is alcohol sales are up over 400%. Um,
yep,
Information is coming out from certain people in the field of psychology saying just because people are drinking more, it doesn't mean at the end of this we'll have more addicts. They're wrong. When people are working from home and drinking at 10 o'clock in the morning, that is a little bit of a problem.
yep,
And I'm not even going to get into smoking weed or anything like that. So I am seeing, on the one hand, exquisite coping mechanisms with the family, kids and family making soap together,
mhm,
like real soap, like
right,
out of stuff.
right,
um, Playing cards, doing things different, doing puzzles, right? Ordering
right,
puzzles online. One of my listeners called me, sent me a message and said, "Hey, I heard you talk about the fact this is true, that I was agonizing over buying a ping pong table and a robot." And they said, "You know what? We did that. We bought one for the family because what a brilliant idea to bring everybody together." So that's what I'm seeing. Now, move forward to my peers and us. Sharon, I never thought as an entrepreneur that I would have a conversation with my staff and say to them, all of you should file for unemployment. I
that had to
never
be
thought.
devastating.
It's devastating. And it
Mm,
doesn't mean as an organization we're flailing or failing. It is a time of we're in a level of predictability. The other part of that problem is that I'm watching people like me step out into extraordinary things. So yesterday I had an attorney on from the East Coast. He's a Bell Law Firm, and he was on, did a whole show. This guy and his law firm is donating all of their time. He's taking questions from all over the United States. He's opening up Facebook. We're actually going to give him a podcast window. So I'm seeing extraordinary things. Now, the flip side of that, and that's why people should call in today, 1 800 930-2819, or on Facebook, Transformation Talk Radio, right? Facebook Transformation Talk Radio. Get your questions because we need to do some praying and
Yep,
healing and ritual.
yep.
Those of us that have been trying to complete the proper forms out, we've done it, not always working out, people calling us, we can't get them back. I did dial, my Bank of America guy 132 times. I called in the auxiliary numbers. They transferred me 4 times, and every time, because the systems were never sent, they were never set up to handle us.
No, they weren't.
People are doing the best they can. These are not mean people. This is not a mean thing. They're
No, it's like the
just,
bottom fell out of everybody.
it's like you all in your profession. Folks are doing the best they can, and every day we're doing better, I think. Maybe. Yeah.
I think in our core, yes, is the exterior world falling apart? In many ways, it is. I kind of also think there are many structures that if they do crumble, we get to rebuild a better way. So I think down the road, we have real potential. Right now, I think we have to be ninja. We have to really be able to be light on our feet because the ground underneath us isn't steady right now.
Yeah.
We just got to be able to jump from one stepping stone to the next and just a little bit of floating above the baseline right now. I wonder
Um,
how other people are doing. I really wonder if when we come back from a break, could we hear how people are handling? How are they handling being at home? What if you're home with your spouse and this is the most you've seen of them in your whole lifetime? How are you handling each other?
I never thought about that. I
I
didn't
know
think
it.
about that. Oh my gosh. Let's take a short break. Dr. Sharon Martin is in the house, 1-800-930-2819. We're taking you calls. Today is the day of a special blessing for you, whatever it is. Don't be afraid that, wait a minute, this is really not a major thing. I'm not sick. That's not what this is about. This is about helping each other help each other. For every caller that calls in, there are 10,000 others that are waiting to hear what the remedy is for you. We're all connected. Take a short break, Mr. Benny. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to the Healing Hour. This is a show that Dr. Sharon Martin does. Amazing show. It's about bridging the mystical and scientific. And today we're talking about coming together while distancing, so far and yet so near. And earlier, Doc Martin, we were talking about the fear and the bleak news.
Mhm.
But then, you know, we're starting to see some things happen. Now, I don't know if they're happening with the hope that there will be, all of a sudden a major decision made and everything will go back to normal. But I'm curious about your day and what you go through each day and how you bring, your view of spirituality into all of your interactions because you are still out there every day.
Every day. Yeah, we're still considered essential workers, but let me first say, I am in no way, making the difficulty of my day anywhere near what the docs in the epicenters, New York, Seattle, nursing homes, they're facing going into the ICUs. So just a quiet moment for a minute just to say thank you to them. Oh, so when I talk about myself, I know that I don't have it hard compared to them. But I do struggle, and I'm sure you all struggle. I struggle truthfully when when we first had to start gowning up, I had the heebie-jeebies like you wouldn't believe. I had a panic not just for myself, but how do I keep my staff safe? How do I make sure I have the right procedures? And then my head was literally spinning with the anxiety. And I had to go back to my spiritual basics. And in that, and I'll tell you what those are in a minute. And in that, I actually had to discipline myself to have a routine of remembering the basics every day,
Yeah.
forcing myself to do them every day. And I'll just share with you what I do. The first thing that I've incorporated, and I've incorporated this from my learning from Dr. Patrice Fields, who was my guest on April 1st, amazing mystic. I intend, and intention is a powerful thing here. It is your will, your desire, your dream, that laser arrow. I intend that my energy field grounds, as in hooks up, joins up to the life force of the earth. I intend that my energy field joins the life force because there's so much chaos. There's a lot of force energy running around. So I am telling my soul, I'm telling God, to the divine, my helpers, whatever those may be, I am linking to the life force today. That is my intention. And I do that every day. I I also, because I my beliefs are very animistic, they're very much the indigenous approach, a strong belief in the connection to the earth. I literally say every day that I am linking up with the earth. And then what I do, and I try to do this, of course, I get up in the morning, I go out to the barn and I feed my miniature donkey and my horses and my chickens. I'm gifted, I'm blessed to have that to go to.
Yeah.
There's something about just petting the miniature donkey that your whole energy just
Yeah.
solidifies. But when I at work, when I'm surrounded by the craziness, I have had to make myself go outdoors at lunchtime, go outdoors and be in the air. And by the way, the air, I believe, even in our area that doesn't have a lot of pollution, is cleaner. But I go outdoors, put my feet on the earth. So those of you who live in a big city, there's got to be somewhere, a rooftop garden, your balcony where you've got a potted plant. Maybe it's still cold enough weather, your plants aren't blooming yet, but anything you can do to touch a piece of earth.
Mm.
If you have a pine cone, a shell, a crystal, they can be good representatives of the earth, a feather,
Yeah.
anything. You don't have to have literal ground. You can connect to it through natural elements. So, um, you have a shell, you have a piece of amber, you have a quartz, a feather, a plain old rock, anything you can do. And again, it's with your intention. You are linking your energy field to the earth and specifically to the life force of the earth. We have natural cycles that involve death and change. Those are great. A tree crumbles, food for the mushrooms, a new sprout, and all that. But you don't want to link to the death force cycle. You want to link to the life force. So I do that. And then I literally have to remind myself that I will do the best I can in this lifetime at this moment, that my passing on, because there are the heebie jeebies about, is this going to get me? Is this going to take me?
Yeah. Yeah.
I personally believe my soul will live on.
Mhm. Yeah.
And at the very least, my energy field will join the unity of the universe. So, but I say, I'm really not ready yet. So in the meantime, help me get through one step in front of the other, just one step in front of the other. And because if I start thinking about what if I look at my IRA, which I have to confess I wasn't very financially savvy, so it's not very big. Well, I'm going to tell you it probably took a hit. But if I look at that and freak out, I'll be in a tailspin of crazy thinking.
Yeah.
And I can't afford to do that. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't get me any further. So I have to remind myself, breathe, one step, and my intention is I am with the life force and I am going to evolve as the earth evolves. And then I also, in the physical realm, I'm very disciplined about making vegetable juice,
Yeah.
because I need my immune system to be up and running. So I'm very disciplined, even though I love to sit on the couch and watch Netflix and eat Fritos. But I do my very best to get some juice of cucumber, parsley, kale. So I really need my greens to keep my immune system going. And I live rurally, so our grocery store doesn't have a lot of fancy produce. But I do my best there. How do you manage, Pat?
Well, I'll tell you, it's, for me, it's a couple of things. One thing I've done is I've completely stopped, any sort of 24/7 news broadcasting thing. I think I got a point where I realized that the news wasn't changing. It wasn't changing. It was, usually this said this, he said this, she said this,
And then a
but
rehash of the same thing.
and then a rehash.
Uh-huh.
But the thing that I was really struck by is what you mentioned before. I was really struck by looking at the leadership of various governors across the United States, right?
Mhm.
And and individuals and what people are doing. I told you that we interviewed an attorney yesterday who is literally not charging anyone if you want to call him and you're having problems filling out the forms, or you don't know how to do it, or you don't know which form to fill out, or maybe you don't even know what you're eligible for, right? Many people that are in the contract arena, they didn't realize that those guidelines for unemployment changed, and we've been trying to
Mhm.
tell people as much as possible. um, and small businesses that sit down and say, look, we want to keep our people on, and then you go through that. And so I'm watching people that don't have to, they don't
Mhm.
have
Mhm.
to come forward and
Yep.
dedicate their time, and they're doing that.
Well,
But you
we
said
have
something.
one of those
Yeah.
challenges in the offices because
Oh,
now physician visits are going to try to be televisits. So they had
oh,
all these
yeah.
rules that, and especially for Medicare, so people over age 65, for them to they didn't allow Medicare to pay for a televisit. Well, a televisit can be audio or video with
Right.
audio. Well, they've loosened those rules. Well, now our challenge is we're in a demographics that the majority of our older people don't own computers.
Yep.
They don't own a smartphone.
Yep.
And how are you going to have them get on their computer to get into the portal to have a secure connection by video? We're not talking about millennials who are really savvy at this stuff. Um, and so that's a whole new challenge. But, let me just tell you what I did have in phone visits this past week and the week before. I actually had time to sit and listen to my patient, which was
Wow.
a whole lot different energy than when they come. The nurse checks them in, they get their temperature. I come in, I have to do this, I have to do the exam, I have to fill out this, get the nurse back, have them go to checkout, blah, blah, blah. I had all the dedicated time to sit and listen and to hear things about them I hadn't learned before.
Mm,
And that was really beautiful. Now, do we get reimbursed for that time? We don't.
no.
If we get $16 for holding a visit, now, we're not going to be able as an institution to stay afloat if you only reimburse at $16 and you pay all the staff. But it was really nice to touch base with people in a different way. And they didn't have to go through the inconvenience and the fear of coming to the office, and they liked it. and we sat and we had a good fireside chat, so to speak. So that was actually a little bit of a good feeling in all of this.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, this is part of the conversation where, you and I both, we have different perspectives, but it all boils down to one thing. And that is, stepping for a moment into the realm of what can we do to help our listeners? What can we do to help other people? And that's what today's show is about. It's dedicated to coming forward and really creating a spiritual blessing energy, not just
Mhm,
for the individuals that might call in, right? But to call on, the angels, to call on the depth of the
mhm.
forces out there that bring light in the world. And that is worth its weight in gold. But I want to remind everybody, we're also taking your calls. If there's something that you would like a blessing over, if there's a question you have that about what to do in a situation, whatever that is, give us a call. 1-800-930-2819. The other thing too is if you have a question about COVID-19, perhaps there's something that Doc Martin could share from her practice as a physician, what she's seen, and beyond all of that is what can we do to raise our vibration? That's what today is about. So
Yep.
feel free to give us a call, 1-800-930-2819. We're going to take a short break, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. I just want to make sure for more information about Sharon, Doc Martin, go ahead and go to her website, which is drsharonmartin.com, drsharonmartin.com. Also, you're going to be able to find ways over there to contact her, schedule your own reading, your own healing. And, if not for you, then perhaps for a loved one. There are many ways she's working with folks. She's going to demonstrate that right now, actually. um, many, many, many different ways that she is helping people stay strong, stay open, stay vibrant in who they are. And that is one of the most important things. So, that's part of what we're doing here today. We are also taking your call, 1-800-930-2819, for live on air readings and blessings. And so that's important too. I think what we're planning now, Doc, is to go ahead and bring some of these healing energies forward.
Well, let's do that. And for everybody listening, or if you're watching on Facebook Live, I'm going to use Pat as a prime example because she's got incredible heart energy, but in all of this, trying to hold a business together through the logistics of disorganized organizations, it's got her a little bit in a turmoil. So I'm going to just do a demo for Pat and have her go on a guided imagery, and you guys can follow along for yourselves. And we're going to just let Pat and all of you guys get out of your heads for a minute. So I've already mentally, internally opened sacred space. So Pat, if you don't mind being the recipient, would you just close your eyes, please?
I would love to do that. And I want to just give a shout out to our Facebook people. Londa, I want to shout out for the folks out there that are listening and watching today. You can also type in your question on Facebook and we'll make sure we get that to Doc Martin. So, please go ahead and do that. Okay, so my
All
eyes are
right.
shut.
Okay. So just nice deep breaths in with your nose and out with your mouth. And just see if you can just put that active mind, let it just park it over somewhere else. In with your nose and out with your mouth. And I just want you to bring your awareness to your heart space. And we're just going to travel, as I've learned from teachings of Drunvalo Melchizedek. I want you to find, as you are guided, the sacred space of your heart. This is a small place that you know well. It's a room, a space, and you can enter that as you find yourself journeying into the center of your chest. Just find that sacred space of your heart and come on into that room and see what it looks like. See its beauty, see the colors, and take a seat. This is your command central. This is your place where all of your helpers meet you and where your intentions go out to your body, your life force, your creative will. And I want you to just be very comfortable in that seat. And if your mind starts going off on a tangent, just ask it to take a park. Go in the parking lot and hang out. You'll be back with it in no time. It's always there waiting for you to go back to. So just tell it to wait a minute and breathing still. And from this sacred seat in your beautiful space of your heart, I want you to see your rainbow energy field. And Alberto taught me, as he learned from the Peruvian elders, this is a waterfall of rainbow energy from your Viracocha, which is a big orb of space and light just above your head, above your crown chakra. And it tumbles down around you like a mosquito netting of a rainbow light, all the colors all around you. And with your mind's eye, I just want you to repair that field, repair that netting, find any places where it's frayed, where anxiety has put little tears and rips, any place where the rainbow light is dull. I want you to just light it up. And just with your mind's eye, let's just take a few minutes to just feel that cascading, beautiful light that's around you, front and back, goes under your feet, like you're in a cocoon of this glorious energy. That's your field. And you're cleaning that right now. You're just restoring that. And if it needs to brighten up, you're sending heart light energy out to brighten it up. Your heart light energy replenishes from source, from spirit. So you have no worry that you'll run out. Just cleaning and refurbishing, mending, reweaving. Do you feel any rips or tears? Don't forget to check the back and under. Just, and if you want to, in your mind's eye, have your hands feel it like you're feeling from inside a shower curtain and just really checking to make sure there's no ragged edges, no lumps or bumps. And just taking a few minutes more to do your best at really giving that a once over, like you took it to the energy field wash, like the car wash, only the driving, you're driving through with your heart space. And breathe. And now I want you to sit, as you're sitting in the sacred space of your heart, I want you to sense, feel, see, or know some kind of higher level energy or being or message appear before you. This is a helper, whether it's a power animal, a being, your spirit guide, an angel, whether it's Yeshua, Mother Mary, anything. Just see a special higher energy message show up before you in whatever form it takes. And perhaps it's just a knowing. And this message comes to you. It's either handed to you from the being or you just know and it's there in front of you. This is just something you need to know right now. You need to know what is important for you in this time and just see what that is, know what that is, feel it. And if you have a question to ask of this messenger, go ahead and ask. What is it else I need to know right now? What else do you need to tell me? And what do you need me to do? How should I go forward in this crazy time? How do you want me to step forward? What what does what you're really wanting to know is what does source, what does spirit ask of you at this time? So as always in good balance, you've received a message and support and a knowing, and you offer back, offering back what you can bring to the table in this next day, week, month, year. What are you going to bring forward? And let your mind's eye even look out ahead on the horizon. What are the possibilities ahead for you? In the middle of all this craziness or when the dust settles, what is your intention for how you want it to be? How do you want it to be out there in our future? And what do you want to bring forth? Who is the you that you want to come forward with? And take that knowledge in and hold on to it so you remember it when we come back. And take a minute to thank the messenger and look around in your sacred space of the heart. Know you can always come back to this place. You can always meet again with any messenger here in this space. And look around and feel the glory, the brilliance, the iridescence of your rainbow field, of your rainbow light body. And know you can always come back and clean it up again anytime. And bringing your awareness back to this time and this place with gratitude for the helpers who are here today. And come on back.
Wow. So powerful.
And
So very powerful.
if you need just a minute to re-entry, we have time. I felt the helpers come in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I get a kind of a, those mirages over a road out in
Mm-hmm.
the desert. I get that zingy vision.
Yeah.
And then I know there's energy here.
Yeah.
Ah,
Thank you so much for that, Sharon. And I just want to remind everyone, if you're listening to this now, or you're listening to this later on, or you're listening to the podcast or the replay tonight, just know that you can call um, Dr. Sharon Martin, schedule your time to experience this and much more. Would you tell folks how they could reach you directly, how they could schedule a session with you? All of
Yep.
the above, please.
Yes, wonderful. So find me the best on my website, drsharonmartin.com, drsharonmartin.com. And my 800 numbers on the website, but it's 833-940-1882. But there's also a contact form on the website. You can look through that and see what grabs you. Um, do you need a little help getting your passion back on? Do you need a little help reminding yourself that you do have confidence, taking away any self doubt, reconnecting? Maybe you want to help with connecting with spirit and how you can rejuvenate that connection because those little whispers, the angel on your shoulder kind of feeling, those little whispers of intuition and messages from higher up, sometimes those voices go quiet. Let's get them back active again
Mhm,
because we need that higher energy as we go forward in the world. I really, really believe that this craziness is actually kind of like a cracking open of the old ways. And in that cracking open, we have a chance to be the new bird coming out of the eggshell. We have a chance to be the phoenix rising. I really think if we, using our voices from our higher selves and source, putting our best selves forward, we can create new things in the world that come with wealth equality and humanity and just organizations that work for us instead of us feeling helpless and out of control. And I think that's possible. I think we have a chance when the old structures are being broken. You remember that Leonard Cohen song, um, The Crack is How the Light Gets In.
mhm.
We're cracking right now, and it doesn't feel good, but it is a chance for that little sliver of light. And if we keep our energy and our source energy pushing on that sliver of light, that's going to become a laser beam and then a flashlight beam and then sunlight wide. It's going to be huge. And we can do it. I truly believe we have opportunity for a new humanity. So I'm in the middle of the crazy. I'm also very hopeful.
Mm. You know, that was for many people, that have heard it or will be hearing it later. That is a place of beauty that you help bring your clients to, the work that you do, the work that was passed on to you to
Mhm.
carry forward. And it is the most powerful, I think, of what we can learn from each other, and help others, you know, share that same energy and space and share the information with people.
Mhm.
Share the information with the people that listen to the show and pass this on. And I think, Olivia, one of the things we should do with that beautiful blessing is pull that out today from the show. And boy, what a special blessing to put that out there for people to listen to on their own. So
Yeah, pull
powerful
it
and
out
so
as an
curious. Yeah.
MP3 for a
Yep.
giveaway.
Yep,
Wonderful.
MP3, yep,
Yep.
and also we can pull out the video and do some edits to it as well, but I think it is that message where, you're putting the politics aside, you're putting whatever you're going through aside with your own banks, your own finances, I mean, all of the above, whatever that is people are experiencing, it gives that relief that allows the heart to literally fuel up again so it can pump
Mhm.
strong. See, and I think that's the risk we run is the depletion of that blessed gratitude energy.
Right.
And so thank you. Sharon, would you tell folks one more time? It would be great for you to share your personal message, but also to tell them how they can find out more about you and get their own blessing from you, how they can schedule their own session with you.
Wonderful. I loved what you said. Um, to for that depleted heart energy, reconnect to source and brighten up again. And that's what my work is reminding each of us that when we connect, we are so big. We have the potential for so much more. And I love to help people get that, to get a grip or climb the step on that ladder to being maximum. Dr. Dr. SharonMartin.com, 833-940-1882. But everything you need to find is on the website, drsharonmartin.com. I love hearing from you. I love working with you. If I can give you a taste of expansion and connection to spirit, then that lights up my life. So, welcome. And when Olivia gets this MP3 and video up and running, my gift to you. And I'm working on a blog with um, a prayer with some of my stone medicine, so
Yeah.
that'll be up soon too.
Mm. Wow. Thank you, Doc Martin. Thank you for your message. Thank you for your blessing. I want to leave everyone with today a perspective, right, that came through for me based on that beautiful blessing from Doc Martin. And it's this message that I'm not concerned about yesterday. You know, it's the message that says, I know that everything is made new today in each and every moment. I let go of all sense of limitation. I
Mm,
divorce any belief I have in lack. I repudiate from that idea that I am poor, I am weak, I am sick, I am unhappy. That every minute of every day, new creations are being developed, they're being created for me. There are conditions of harmony, there are conditions of happiness, of peace, of joy, of love. That all circumstances, all situations are being harmonized. So wherever you go, wherever I go, we'll meet together in peace. We'll meet together in joy and happiness. Wherever or whatever you do or I do or we do shall be done with the reason and intelligence. And here it is that we are surrounded, all of us, by the friendship, by the joy, by the beauty, that our whole being responds to all of this with so much strength and conviction, that this is simple with that complete conviction. And we accept together our freedom. Thank you all. We'll see you next time.
aho.
Aho.